Let's see if this works.
We're back. It's been a bit.
All right, has been a minute. Feels like being home. So we're glad to be here. Glad to see everybody when you pop on here. We'll wait a few minutes, let people pop on. Give you a little update on what we've been up to. And it is cold here, and the water is a little bit colder than we would like it to be. It's okay. Summer, how are you? Summer, the swim spa made it to 93 degrees, which sounds like it's warm, but after a little while, it will start to be cold because it's less than your body temperature. But here we are. All right, good to see you guys. All right, so when you pop on, do us a favor and let us know where you're watching from because we love to see that. Sound is good. Thank you, babe. Summer is my beloved daughter. All right. 4 people, we'll wait a few minutes. All right. All right, popping in. Wintertime use. Wintertime use. I can tell you this. The swim spa that is at my house is a twin to this Challenger. It is 101 right now, ready to go.
So it's a little challenging. So we actually did want to do the Facebook Live at Ben's house today to talk about being in the winter. But right before we do that, we do Chili Goat Live.
Which we don't have, Ben.
So Ben doesn't have a Chili Goat at his house. Did you turn the Wi-Fi on?
I did.
Oh, okay, we're back. So because we have to be here with the Chili Goat right before, we couldn't go to Ben's. But
and even though it was outside, it's actually warmer than this one is.
But the fact is that Ben does use his swim spa all throughout the winter.
Yes.
He just turns it up a little bit.
Now, if I'm being honest, we're using it more like a gigantic hot tub than we are for exercising. But it's fantastic and the largest hot tub in the neighborhood by far. Absolutely great. So, yeah, we love that. All right, everyone's popping on here. Oh, it's awesome to see you guys. We missed this. Kim from HQ. Kimmy, what's happening?
Kim, sorry, I didn't mean to freak you out before. I freaked myself out too, so.
Yeah, me too, a little bit.
I had a moment.
Larry, Longmont,
I haven't gotten enough
Colorado.
sleep the last couple of days.
No, we haven't gotten much sleep. Let's see. Brianna, good to see you. Junior, Jim, New Hampshire. Yeah, you know you're cold. Kurt from North Carolina. Awesome. Lauren, we're thinking about you all day. All right.
Hopefully this will be a little distraction for you.
I hope so too. All right. The 5, the hand, the high. Good to see you. All right. So, what happened was we went away more than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was a multi-city trip. We had what's called Wadapalooza. It's a CrossFit event. We were there as a partner for 6 days. Setup breakdown, crazy. 3 different locations in that event with our products, our cold tubs. And then we had 2 other activations from 2 different hotels. One was for Adidas. Am I allowed to say that?
And
I said it. One was for Adidas, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it's gone. It's out there, so I said it. They were awesome, and then that hotel was really gorgeous. And then the Clevelander, which was the host hotel for Wadapalooza, we had product there as well. So we had 5 spots in Miami, different spots with product, and 8 people, like the dream team, which I'm going to actually comment. Oh, Lauren said, Ben shirtless is always a distraction for Andrew.
Awesome.
All right. That's the kind of stuff I like to hear. That's wonderful. Thank you for stopping by. Hello from HQ as well, Brianna. It's awesome to see you guys. Okay, so that event was awesome. And then we had a little marketing event up the road, a few cities away, far enough away to fly to a different airport. So then we extended a couple days just to try to relax a little bit. And we came home on Monday the plane landed at 1:15. So we raced over here to finish filling up this swim spa. We had a friend start earlier because we were gone so long, we just emptied everything. The water needed to be changed anyway, so we emptied it, filled it back up, and then right now, since Monday afternoon to now, and the water is super cold here. We're coming in like 47 degrees out of the tap. So right now we're about 94 degrees. So we like a little bit warmer, but 94, we're going to survive.
Yes.
Okay. So, Kirk, what's happening? Kirk, we'll be talking to you tomorrow, sir. So that's where we've been. Multiple events, lots of craziness. Just things are absolutely crazy. It already feels like it's about to be 2026. I can't believe that there's this much of 2025 left as busy as we've been, which is awesome. And so much going on, so much cool stuff. So anyway, that's the long and short of it. Now let's talk swim spas. All right, Mary, you okay? You shivering yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. She's okay.
I'm standing in front of the warm.
And I just did the cold tub too, so this being a little warmer would be nice after the cold tub. But I'm getting old, and my body
we're
is.
Happy to be here with you guys.
So my body is breaking down from the travel and life that we live, and the cold tub makes me feel whole again. So that's what we did. Anyway, Rob, good to see you. All right, Letitia, what's happening? Okay, so if you guys have questions for cold weather use, fire away.
I just want to say that
go.
I think that it's the fact that these swim spas are made for cold water is like part of the claim to fame, because at least here, in Connecticut, in the Northeast, in wherever you have cold, Canada, getting a pool is such a huge investment for such a short amount of time in a year that you can actually use it. So if you're getting 3, 4, even if you push it to that 5 months, that's,
Around here, you're not pushing 5 months. Not in Connecticut.
You start to have to heat the pool, which is very expensive because the pool isn't insulated, and it's not covered with any type of insulated cover. Where a swim spa is designed and insulated, especially a MasterSpas swim spa, is designed and insulated to be used all year round, even in Canada, where it gets, as we learned from someone who posted a question earlier today, negative 11 degrees Fahrenheit.
Negative insanity. So, I've been to Winnipeg before when it was 30, 40 below actual temperature, and then negative 50 with wind.
That sounds so terrible.
It's unbelievable. And for those of you who've never felt that, so we're from Connecticut, and it's obviously cold here. So I was like, Pat, south of zero, can you really feel the difference?
Yes.
You can. So what happens is, it's very interesting. So in Connecticut, we plug in diesel trucks in the wintertime so that the fuel doesn't gel, and that way it'll actually start the next morning. And it still can be problematic, but that's for diesel, and you have to run a special additive in diesel fuel so that it stops it from freezing. And it's called gelling, not the additive. When the diesel gels, that's called gelling. So go to a fast food place, doesn't matter, McDonald's, every parking space has a plug for gas cars so they don't freeze. So it's a whole nother level cold than we experience here, unless you're in North Dakota and certain spots, probably Minnesota, maybe some UP, Michigan, that upper kind of horrible winter places that we have. It'll be close to there, probably Montana and up that way. Maybe not though, even Montana, but that negative 50 degrees, it's a whole different thing. So if you have gloves on and you have just a little, where the jacket comes down and the gloves go here and you have that little space, not safe. It's that crazy. And I just, until I experienced that, I never would have thought it would be so drastically different. Because at 0 degrees, you're hurrying to get in. At 50 below, 40 below actual temperature, and then 50 with wind, it's insane. So these tubs perform at that level is like a miracle in my opinion.
Yeah.
So they're insulated to the max for sure, which is pretty crazy.
So the MasterSpas are fully insulated on the inside. Some companies are only doing behind the panels, which here just isn't enough. And then your standard cover is fully insulated as well, and that's going to help tremendously keep all of your heat in. So they're just really well made for that year round, even in the cold temperatures. Yeah. And they're, we want, people ask, what do you do with a hot tub or a swim spa in the winter? And I usually say, use it. We want you to use it.
It's the best time.
I think a hot tub in the wintertime is the best. And imagine being able to exercise and have fun in the water when it's, negative 10 degrees or, 0 degrees out, because your water is comfortable and you got to run inside maybe, but that's the least.
I mean, we never experienced that. With us, it's always people, when I explain this, and you guys on here, there's a bunch of pros here, you know what we're talking about. I always found that it was colder to get in than out. So if you have the water warm enough, you sort of, overheat intentionally, and when you get out, you're just like, this is great. You're fine to get out, but getting in when we always have robes, like big thick robes. When you drop that robe, you are cold. And then remember when you were a kid and you got in the bathtub and it was too hot and your feet stung?
Your feet stung.
Same. Everything sting. But as soon as you get to here outside in the winter, you're like, this is perfect. Absolutely fantastic. So we got, all right, PA. We got some cold spots in PA.
Yeah.
Howdy question. Let me get that. Okay, that's a long one. Can you put pH and alkalinity up at the same time as OxyShock or chlorine granules? No. I'll get to why. I'm just going to read through. P.S. Water is perfect and clear, just a pH and a little low. Seems like weekly I'm adding a bit of alkalinity and pH up. The chlorine I do 2 times a week and OxyShock roughly 4 times a week when I go in. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Love your videos from Long Island. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Shout out to Drew at Suntech Pools. We know Drew. We know Suntech. Okay, so let me. If you have separate products for alkalinity and pH, you should not do them at the same time, because it should be alkalinity, adjust, then pH, and then chlorine. Okay, so they do make a product. I actually have it at my house. It's almost like the cold tub Balance Up.
Yeah.
And it does both. I actually didn't even read the ingredients, if it's the same, but I know that they will affect each other. So if you raise one, the other one will probably pop up a little bit. But so if you have separate products, I would do them separately. Okay. And then go to chlorine. So, and just the easy way to remember that is A comes before P alphabetically, so A is always first. So you always, if your water is cloudy, or if you're fixing it, or if you're starting from scratch, all in one product, that might be the one I have. I don't even know where I got it, so, but it's there, and I use it, and it's fine. But, so A before P, alkalinity, pH, then chlorine, okay? So that's how you should do that. And then if sounds like you're using the Angie method, where you're using, oxidizer multiple times a week, absolutely fine. And then chlorinating twice. What I always find, and it's because of the life that we lead, our travel schedule is crazy. So I end up having to rely more heavily on chlorine than anything else. And I use chlorine more times. If you were to switch those, that's what I do. Don't have a choice. Okay, we're just gone too often at the time. And if my chlorine levels are hanging around that 1, 2, it goes south, faster, than I can get to it, because we're not here. So that's what we deal with. And then this particular one, we actually have some other friends, as well as Mary's parents, who are in Florida right now, but they all help with the water, so that there's always someone sort of maintaining it, and it's always perfect.
Well, I think the other thing he's saying, you don't want to put the Balance Up or whatever it is that you're using at the same time
as
that
the
you
shock,
do
right?
Shock
No, you don't want to do that.
Chlorine. They should all be done at separate times.
Right. I would also like to, most of the time, pH will drop. So if you're getting in a hot tub, cold tub, swim spa, it doesn't matter. The water's the same. The only thing different is the temperature. Typically, what'll happen is, as you're using it, your pH will drop a little bit. And I take it from me, because I have had long periods of travel where my pH was really low. Water was clear. pH was really low, but it eats things up. It eats up the soft tread. It eats things up. So you want that pH nice and, right in that middle. Okay, so that's, supposedly I know what I'm doing, and still have had this happen to me because of our schedule. I can't work on the water if we're not here. So the pH is important, but yeah, you don't want to add them. You want to do them separately. Adjust the alkalinity and pH, wait a little while, then do the shock, okay? And that same would go for the chlorine. product. Yeah, I mean, if it's all in one product, then you can do that, but don't do it at the same time as the shock. For sure, you want to wait a little while. Both are always slightly low. Yep, that resonates. That means you're using it. Time can degrade that pH also. So use or time. Using daily, have a Galaxy 8.25 Twilight. That auto-corrected from Twilight to Galaxy? It does sort of make sense. Fantastic. Keep it at 99. 99? That's too cold. Get it up there a little bit. Awesome. Very cool. No, 825, great tub. So Galaxy, that's the new name. We're gonna add a new tub to the Twilight line and call it the Galaxy. All right, very cool. What else you got? That is interesting that it auto-corrected.
That is funny.
Because you could actually sort of make sense. Galaxy Twilight, I like it. All right. No, that's just me. Okay. All right. We got some questions?
Yes, we do. About using the tub in the cold and some temperature questions.
Nice.
One of the questions we might need, if Catherine, I think is her name, is on, we might need some clarification. Whoops. Just put my phone in the water.
Did you really? Oh, it's a brand new one. It can do that.
Yeah, this is Catherine. My hot tub is losing too much heat. It starts at 104, and when I get out, it's 100 and feeling cool. I like to soak for an hour. It helps chronic back pain. I just wish it stayed hot. So what hot tub do you have? Is it if it's a 110, any 110, when you turn your jets on, your heat is gonna kick off. So if you are sitting there for a long period of time with your jets on, your heat is gonna you're gonna lose some heat.
Right.
But if you do have a 220, that shouldn't be losing that much unless it's very, very cold out. And for an hour, I guess it could drop some heat. But maybe if you turn your jets off if you have a 110. The next question is from David in Wisconsin. Do I save any money by turning my spa down to 90 and then turning it up to 102 3 hours before I plan on going in? No.
No. Leave it. Send it.
You also won't get up to 102 in 3 hours from 90.
In the hot tub?
Yeah.
If it's really cold?
Yeah, in Wisconsin, it probably is not going to get up there.
3 hours should hit 5. It should do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'll make that.
But what's happening is
You're chugging for 3 hours.
Yeah, your hot tub is working really hard during that time, especially if it's cold out.
And if you look at, this is the same thing as everybody think back to your initial fill.
Right.
And then you see that monthly spike on that initial fill because it heated up, especially with a swim spa, because it heats for basically 2 days, 2.5 days until it's at temperature. So you have a huge spike in your electric bill from the initial warm up, and then it goes and then drops back down and idles. So yeah, you're doing that on the daily, chugging for 3 hours at that rate. I don't recommend that at all. We've got a couple questions here, Mary.
Okay. I just have one more then.
You want to go? Go ahead.
Yeah. This is from Jane. She is in Sherwood Park, Alberta, and a first-time owner of a swim spa. And this is the one, she says it gets to negative 24 Celsius, which is negative 11 Fahrenheit. Plus, if there's a wind chill, it could go down to negative 36,
forever.
negative 32.
Negative forever.
So what would you suggest is a safe temperature to go into the hot tub? So,
You're fine.
yeah, I was just gonna say, if you're talking about water temperature, 104 is 100 anywhere 100 to
I mean,
whatever
I think in that temperature, I'd probably go 102. Like 104 is just too hot for me. I can't do it. But even here outside, we go 101 in the wintertime. I would go 102 if it was a little colder.
If your hair gets wet, it's going to freeze immediately.
It's awesome.
That's the best part.
I do it. That's fun to kind of pick at it and pick the little icicles out. Okay, but yeah, you're totally fine to go in there. There's no worry about the outside. Just get in that water and have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. Cindy said, I have tried getting my phone down, but nothing seems to work. I have tried so much down, and it doesn't affect it at all. I also tried muriatic acid and nothing. We talking pH down? So, it's a little, I'm trying to decipher that a little bit. I'm sure phone is pH down, but nothing seems to work. I've tried so much. Where do you live? Because geographically, everybody's water is different. And then also try alkalinity down and see if that helps. Because muriatic acid should bring it up, not down. Right? Yeah. So, Cindy, send us a private message. And if you don't want to do that, call in to customer service on MasterSpas and they'll get you straightened out. I feel like something funny going on there with you.
Yeah, and if she's using muriatic acid, trying to get it to go down,
that's going to go up.
It's going to go up.
Yeah.
That's
so like in
why
a chemical feed system, so like hypothetically, if we were say testing an auto chemical feed system for a commercial cold tub, like say 5 feet behind this camera that you can't see, muriatic acid would be, if we were doing that, muriatic acid would be one of the chemicals we used on the auto feed and test system to raise pH. So we'll go with that. Okay. Nikia said, someone in the group said you don't recommend the end-to-end cover in cold weather. Is that correct? It's the only one that we can manage physically. Do you have suggestions for using it in super cold temps? So it's not that I don't recommend it. It's that it's not going to be as efficient as the snow load cover, period. It's not as thick, okay? More insulation is always gonna insulate more. So it's not that I don't recommend it. I love it. In fact, I do prefer our new Access over the end-to-end personally, but I will say that it's always worked well. It's just not going to be as efficient in that cold climate. But if it's what you need to be able to use it and open it, it is what it is. Just full send, go, enjoy. If that were the situation, I would do the exact same thing.
You could try getting the solar cover underneath the end-to-end, right? Like you cut out a solar cover to the exact shape of the water in the swim spot. So you don't want it over the edges.
You don't want it overlapping.
You want it the same,
on the water.
like just basically to skim the water.
Yeah,
and,
you could definitely do that.
that might help with efficiency.
All right, what else do we have? My hot tub, Kurt said, my hot tub will gain about 3 to 4 degrees an hour. Yeah, so that would be 12 from 90 to 102. That would work in 3 hours. I think that would be fine. I just don't recommend it on doing that all the time. You will lose money on that deal, especially if it was daily. But for sure, let's see. Gilberto, don't read Spanish. All right. Cindy, yes. Indiana. Sean Kearns. All right. Does she mean soap foam? I'm not sure. I think you're referring to the post where
The pH.
the pH.
foam.
I'm sure she meant pH, because pH. If you put pH in your,
Sometimes it'll auto.
it would autofill or auto finish your word for you and go to phone. So pH makes sense to me. And if she's using muriatic acid, that is associated with pH. So I'm thinking it's pH. Let's see. We tried the solar cover. Nikia, how did it work? Tell us everything. What did you think? How do you override the temperature? I have the 15D and this is my first winter right now. It only goes to 99. So Cindy, okay, it depends on what year your 15 is, your 15D is. So the new one is a Gecko. The new pack is Gecko on the top side. We say top side because we are just too cool to say control, controller, spa control, control panel. Like, so we say top side. So when we say top side, we're really just trying to sound cool. We're not, it's just the way it is. But I always found that sort of amusing because like people are like, top side, what are you talking about? And it, control panel. So on the Gecko,
which is the all black control panel.
Yep. That it's on the top side. You don't have to go to the dip switch in the main pack under the hood, so to speak. So it's in there. I don't know the sequence off the top of my head, but it's in there. You can look that up in the MasterSpas owners group, and it's in there. They will help you with it. There's 50 people that have done it. So search that MasterSpas owners group for, overriding to 104 in a swim spa, and you'll find it'll come right up.
You could probably also contact customer service.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Yeah, 99 is not enough for me either, Cindy.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%. All right. What is an end, Larry? Let me hit the C more. What is an end-to-end cover? Mine is a thick cover that folds in half with a lift. My problem is getting the snow and ice off the cover. Larry, that's everybody's problem. But so like Mary's saying, if the snow is on top of there, that means it's insulated properly. And even if that water is 100 degrees, it's not melting. So that is what you want. But I do agree, because I have cleaned off plenty of swim spas in the snow. I would not use a shovel, because if you tear the cover, that is not a warranty issue. That's user abuse. I would use a plastic rake or broom. If the snow is super fine and powdery, you can actually use a gas blower. Works awesome. Okay, and then just kind of gently, push it off until it's all off, and then open it up.
The end-to-end is a roll cover.
Yep, it's the roll cover.
You've
seen pictures of it, I'm sure.
Take the snow off of that
same
as
problem.
well.
Same problem. So,
It's
although
just
I don't have
excellent
experience with
cover.
an end-to-end or even the axis outside where we live, I always use the heavier one. I do like the roll cover though, but it's definitely not as efficient as the thicker cover. We have a tarp over the top now and are hoping that helps both with snow removal and insulation. It will definitely help with the snow removal, because you can, kind of knock off the edges and drag that off, and it's clean as a whistle. It will 100% help with the snow. On the insulation, thicker is better. So is it going to, be 100% more efficient? No, probably not. Is it going to be a little bit? I would think it would be. So anything you can do to make that thicker is going to work. But for the snow removal alone, absolutely fantastic. So it will 100% work for that. Kim, gotcha. Tarp over.
One thing I want to say while we're on here talking about winter use is there are some people who do not use their hot tub or swim spa in the winter if it's cold. Or there are some people who live in Connecticut or the Northeast and they go to, the South for the winter for 4 to 5 months. If you are definitely not going to use your hot tub or your swim spa in the winter and it's cold and you don't have anybody to kind of check on it or check the water, then I would definitely recommend that you have your dealer come out and winterize it. So they will blow out the lines and fill them with antifreeze, and they'll do it, professionally in the correct way. So then you don't have to worry about the pipes freezing or taking care of the water or having someone come check it. So although we love when people use their swim spa and their hot tubs in the winter, and we definitely recommend it, the MasterSpas are made for that. Sometimes there are extenuating circumstances where people are just like, absolutely not, I'm just not going outside. Then just make sure that
Which, as I get older, I'm starting to get. We came back from Florida and I've been a baby for 2 days. Yeah. We got back on Monday, ran here, turned on the swim spa. Then yesterday we flew to Charlotte for a business meeting and then flew back. We were in Charlotte for 4 hours. And it was like 68, 70 degrees there at noon. It was really awesome. So, and I wasn't expecting it to be that warm. Let's see. So Kim asked, I know you remove snow from the cover. Do you have to do anything about ice? Ice, baby. Fantastic reference. So Kim, I would say this. If you're not going in there, you don't have to do anything. I've certainly left ice on mine for a couple of days until it, kind of melted down a little bit and I was able to just shove it off. So it just depends. If you're trying to get in it and there's an inch of ice on there or something like that, then you gotta figure out a way. You can give it a little tap, around the edges. Don't break the cover. Just be gentle with it. and then, you know, try to shove it off. And usually you can kind of loosen up a sheet and kind of get the whole sheet off there if you have to get in. If you don't have to get in, you don't have to. I mean, I wouldn't leave, you know, 6 inches of ice on there, because it's just eventually it's going to be really, really heavy. And you know, that we've always been told that the weight limit was like 250 pounds. That's a lot. Although, you know, ice will add up quickly if it starts getting really thick. So I wouldn't keep too much on there. But if it's like an inch, half inch, I wouldn't stress about it either. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. What do we got? What do we got? The solar cover kept shifting. We have an 18 and could only get 2 8x8s. I have not yet cut them to fit, but they shifted away from the jets and weren't sure how effective they were. Oh, I see. You said you were going to test them on a previous video. Did you do that, and what did you find? So, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all because I'm never allowed to be home. And I don't mean the people in my home aren't allowing me to be home. The people that we work for like us really, really busy. So we've just been gone for 14 days or 13 days, and then came back for 12 hours, left for the day, and we're home for 3 days, and then we're leaving for 2 more days. I just haven't gotten to it. My life is sad. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say it than that.
I think that the ideal situation would be obviously one piece.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe turning the jets off while...
Well, I mean, you can't really, because...
Well, I mean, you can turn them, you know,
Yeah.
off at the...
But I mean, it is possible that any jet that comes on, even if it's just circulating
Right.
or cycling, because it will come on a couple times just to cycle water through the jets, that's just so that you don't get stagnant water in there. It could shift that around. It's something I never thought about. But on 2 separate pieces, I would think that would be much easier to shift around, because they're obviously smaller, whereas
Maybe
a larger
do like
one.
a little string on the end, like around the...
And I wouldn't want to see a solar cover because it's got those bubbles and there's a little space in between. I wouldn't want to see you go over the rim,
Right.
because you're going to create an air gap in there, and I think that's going to undo any benefit you had. So it's got to be on that water. So I guess right now, if that's the issue, I'd stick with the tarp, for sure. Okay. I'm in Michigan and I have a Twilight. My touch panel to turn on my jets and lights will not respond to touch when it's very cold. When the tub is open, we have to keep the display covered with a towel so it will work. Is this normal? First I've never experienced that. So I want to sort of say that I know Michigan is capable of great coldness. I have never experienced that. I'm going to tell you to call in customer service and talk with them. You can either call your dealer, obviously, but call into MasterSpas customer service. Super easy. They're great, and they've seen everything. So see what they have to say. I want to say I'm not sure if that's normal, but I'm only saying I'm not sure because you are capable of immense coldness there. I have never experienced that here ever. So to me, it seems like it's not quite normal. But in your extreme temperatures, maybe there's something that I don't know. Let's see. Jim, this worked great for snow removal. Oh, it's a link. I can't click on that. Okay. Kirk added, muriatic acid. Be very careful handling. Very strong acid. If pH, alkalinity, and hardness are all high, it can take a lot of pH down and treatments to lower your pH. Absolutely. So especially in the swim spa.
He's saying
he does
not recommend muriatic
Kirk
acid.
doesn't like the muriatic acid, but it's acid. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I don't
so
blame
you don't
him.
want that on you, and I agree. So swimming in the winter is good for the soul. Kenny, that it is. That it is. All right. Brian, Ben, I'm worried about that spot on your head. Noticed it 3 weeks ago. Too much sun. Brian, I appreciate that. So there's a lot to that story. What that is a basal cell that I treated with the chemo cream, and it's still healing. This one, if you noticed 3 weeks ago, there was 2. That one's healed. That was the smaller. This one was more severe, and it's not done healing yet. The next step is I've had 3 Mohs surgeries. You can't see it, but there's a scar on my head that's that big. It's like that big, the hole in my head. This is why we started talking about sunscreen and UV shirts and I will say this, my beloved MasterSpas family actually made me the one and only UV shirt for chili goats for our cold tubs. I have the only one on earth, and they made it for me to protect, what's left of my very exceptionally pale body. So I appreciate that. This is the last one that's healing. This one is already healed and gone. This one's not quite done. It was pretty serious. So next step is Mohs surgery for that, which I have a Mohs surgery here, I have a Mohs surgery here, I have one here, and they were all pretty significant. But yes, it's too much sun, but they are basal cells. I do not have the dirty M as of yet. So, but we are watching things closely.
I was just gonna say, you always get checked.
That's right. Thank you, Bri. This was in the invite as a topic. Let's see. I'd like to know the answer to how to stay warm before and after your soak. You mentioned it's tougher, colder getting in than getting out. So Larry, 100%. So for me, how to stay warm before and after. I always wear slippers. I like thick, warm slippers, and then I wear a thick robe. And then I'll just say it, because at nighttime, all the lights are off. I'm not wearing anything underneath. I'm gonna get back to that, and I have a serious comment to make about what you're wearing in there. So when I drop that robe, I'm like, oh, sugar, I need to get in that water, and I'm getting in. And as soon as I'm here, everything's fine. And then I stay in long enough where I'm warm, and I'm moving when I get out, but it's tougher to get in than it is to get out, in my experience. If that's not the case, turn up the heat a little bit more, stay in a little bit longer, and that'll adjust.
And get that really neat towel warmer.
Yeah.
They have it on Amazon. I've seen it, and it's like it looks like a barrel. Right. And you put your towels in it, and they keep the towels warm so that when you get out, it's magical. Like a warm hug.
Yeah,
from a towel.
That's got to be pretty magical.
Yeah,
I would think that'd be pretty magical.
I was also going to say, like, if you had robes, you could put them in the dryer before going out, so that it's really warm when you are going out and then have the towel warmer out there too.
And then, now if it's really cold, you guys know that I will tell you what I do, even if I know that it's wrong. And Kirk, who is watching right now, is sitting here like,
oh no.
Shut your mouth, Ben. Shut your damn mouth. But I can't do it. So if I'm getting out and it's cold, I mean like cold, I will throw a little splash of chlorine in, close the covers, and get out of there. I do it. I have no problem with that. I don't care. I'm a jerk. What can I say? Kirk's like.
What Ben is saying is that he doesn't allow the chlorine to off gas.
Right. So, but I know I'm doing wrong, and if you do that, you're wrong. I'm wrong. That's life. Okay. Some of us are just fully transparent about it. All right. So, Kirk, I'm going to hear about that. Brian, glad you're managing it. Thanks for sharing details. Yeah, Brian, it's like a thing now. 50 years old, right? So colonoscopy, I did that. Coronary calcium score, did that. Annual dermatologist checks, and we're dealing with issues that have been there longer. I have like basal cells removed on my forearms from when we used to race triathlon, because you're in the bike bars like this, so all that sun is always on your forearms. And if you put sunscreen on there, it just sweats it off. Yeah. So it's super challenging, and my whole life was outside. So yeah.
I just had my yearly checkup, and she said
I forgot about that.
I get to keep all my spots. That's what my
lucky girl. I have not gotten to keep all mine.
Cindy, keep all your spots.
Cindy said, "I get good questions today. I love when you guys are like in it. I love it. It's so much fun. 40 minutes, and we're like I'm starting to get a little, because it's colder than our body temperature, and I'm so psyched. I love when you guys are just in this." All right, so Cindy said, I get a lot of steam leakage at the bend of the flip lids. It even forms huge icicles, and I lose a lot of water. I called customer service, and they said I could go get straps and strap it down. I feel it should not be leaking that much. It's basically brand new 15D. I have put weights on the lid to hold it down tighter. It seems to work, but wondered if anyone else had a better fix. So, it's interesting. If you close, so with me, I have a Challenger 15 at my home, and I have the new Sunbrella material covers on there. You guys remember we put them on maybe 6 months ago or something. And I will close the cover and I make sure that the flap, you know, you got the piece in the middle, I make sure that's down and the two little side pieces are down. And then I'll actually push the covers in tight and then put the Velcro flap over the top. I'm really careful about that. Or if it's closed, if I'm just in a hurry, I do make sure that all the flaps are in the right space, but I will actually go to one of the ends of the swim spa or even both and push them inward, and it tightens up that gap. So I've had that happen for sure. I just make sure that I close it really tight. And it's just, you know, it's one more thing you got to do, but it does help. So if it's makes me sort of wonder if you have cover lifters, if maybe they need a little adjustment, because that could happen. There are some adjustments on there if you're running cover lifters and you have too much of a gap. So a gentleman named Ron Sullivan installed my cover lifters, and he is pro cover lifter installer. I can do it. He can do them with his eyes closed. And when I close the covers, it goes, it's so tight. I still give it a little shove and still get that little in. It's maybe a quarter inch, half inch, but it's real tight. And I don't get any steam in the new cover. So just make sure it's adjusted. If you're running cover lifters, it could actually kind of hold it apart if they're not adjusted correctly or not installed correctly. So just check that. So give them a little shove in, see if that helps a little bit. All right. Kenny, toss the robes into a waterproof bag and keep in the spa. Interesting. Reagan, thank you. I'll give them a call. The temp doesn't even have to be extremely cold. Oh wait, maybe some think the 20s are extreme, huh? Not here. No, 20 degrees is not extreme cold
No,
there.
that's not too bad.
It's not extreme cold here. It's cold, but it's not extreme, that's for sure. So we lost internet connection for a bit. Will the questions be online later? Belinda, absolutely. We'll post this as soon as we're done. Go through, read everything, even comment, and we'll come back on. Okay? Crocker Sales is watching. Crocker Sales, aren't you on an island right now? Or is this someone else from Crocker Sales? Because I know that the two gentlemen who run that fine establishment are vacationing right now on an island.
Are they?
Yeah, aren't they? Absolutely. Yeah. So, all right. Enjoy. We're out of here.
We'll be back in 2 weeks normal this time. At least for the next 2 weeks.
Sort of normal. Enjoy, everybody. Good to see you.
Have a good night.